Yes, so this is another one you got to be careful to talk about. So, of course, formula feeding is perfectly fine and a great way to feed your kids. And oftentimes mothers need to use formula. There are lots of reasons why formula has to be the way to go. But there has been a lot of research recently showing that a lot of the components of breast milk, of our mother's milk, actually foster certain components of our microbiome, and that may have an impact on our health later in life. So one thing I just spoke about was the oligosaccharides that are present in breast milk. So a lot of the calories in breast milk can't actually be consumed by us. They're specifically consumed by particular bacteria, and so mom is controlling what bacteria can live in our guts. So mom is doing her own ecosystem engineering on the infant microbiome and making sure that the right types of organisms are in that kid's system to promote that kid's health and well-being. And some of those probably exist in formula, but the exact cocktail of them that really produces the right combination has been honed over evolutionary time very carefully. So the likelihood that formula is able to completely recapitulate that is not perfect. In addition to that, we know that the maternal milk contains a lot of antibodies, which are little molecules produced by our immune systems that are involved in binding things like bacteria. And recent work from a colleague at Fred Hutch, Megan Koch, shout out to Megan, has shown that if you don't provide maternal antibodies along with maternal microbes, so if a little kid is getting bacteria into their system but they're not getting those antibodies, you can actually mount an inflammatory response to your own gut microbes. So your immune system, when you're really young, has a really hard time distinguishing between self and non-self. And so there's all these complex organs and processes involved with making sure your immune cells don't attack your own tissues. And this education is constantly happening. But in addition to our own tissues, we also have to learn we don't want to attack the food we're eating. We don't want to constantly be attacking all the bacteria that are living in our gut. If we did that, we'd be constantly burning all of our resources and having inflammation in all these places we don't want it. And so part of what mom helps us do when we're young is train our immune systems, quiet our immune systems down to not overreact to our microbiome and treat our microbiome as self. And this can break down a bit when we don't have access to these antibodies. And so, there are human studies now showing that various factors early in life, like cesarean versus natural birth, or breastfeeding versus non-breastfeeding, when we're cesarean born or when we're not breastfed, our likelihood of later in life having an overreactive immune system, which could mean allergies, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, what have you, are slightly increased. Now it's just a slight increase in risk. It's not like you're doomed to have a bad immune system if you're cesarean born. That's just not true. Most cesarean born kids are completely healthy and completely fine, but we do see that there's a slight increase in the risk for those things. And this is true across the developed world. If you look at Europe, the US, Australia, all these countries that have modern healthcare systems, modern lifestyles, between using Purell, using antibiotics, cesarean birth, no breast milk, there are all these multitudes of factors that are depleting our microbial diversity, and all of that seems to be feeding into the rise of these inflammatory conditions. This is called the hygiene hypothesis in my field, that these modern plagues of the immune system are actually caused by a disruption of our microbiota through these myriad factors.